inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. It's time. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Favorite. And that's right, y'all. It's draft week. Draft week. What the Saints gonna do? What LA gonna do? What's going on? We're gonna talk about that later on in today's show. We're gonna have our high school segment today as well. We'll be joined by Coach Frank from Edna. Karr. Frank's probably gonna stick around with us for a couple of segments too to talk about the draft and some of the top players. We'll also have my man CL NOLA come through. He has his mock draft for our last segment, so y'all gonna want to stick around for that as well. But tons to talk about, top stories around the league, top 5 linemen, offense and defensive linemen, and of course, we're gonna talk a little high school football, and then we're gonna pretend like we're in the Saints draft room, so we're gonna definitely get into that. So much to look forward to, in addition to this week being draft week. Yours truly is definitely dropping a new single called Trophies. So I'm going to need y'all to go to y'all phones right now and pre-save that. I'll be sure to text that. Well, if y'all go to my Twitter, at BIGFAV504, the pre-save link is in there just in time for the draft. I'm super excited about that new song. In addition to that, I know we have some of our participants in the Conquer Sports Rating and Rankings Clinic this past week. Well, that's out right now, baby. So y'all make sure y'all check y'all's emails for all the kids that were there. We had 20-some-odd students there, and they enjoyed it. I mean, we had ourselves a great time, so the ratings and rankings are out. Y'all be sure to check that out as well. I have that YouTube link available for our viewers here on Inside the Trenches. I'll be sure to have that next week, but it's something definitely to look forward to. Before we take another quick break and we'll get into the show, I want to take this time to thank our sponsors, Conquer Sports Pros, where athletes are given the edge. Also, we want to thank Small Sliders Montero. That's right, 1635 Metairie Boulevard. As I told you guys, they are taking orders for party plates, but their location is out of commission for a couple of more weeks. But I talked to Rick, everything's going fine. And I also want to give a big shout out to Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard. Some of the best used car deals in the city. Definitely check out my man, Alberto. You could check out their website, monteromotors.com. Be sure to check them out. And then a super big shout out to my man, Robert Wolfe, with Robert Wolfe in Construction. They're over on the West Bank, baby. You know they say that's the best bank. They're over there at 143 Lapalco Blvd. Right now they're running specials on house elevations. If you're looking to get your house elevated, be sure to hit up our folks from Robert Wolfe in Construction. And last but certainly not least, all these projects going on across the city, throughout the state, with construction, with infrastructure, you're going to need reliable, new construction vehicles. Be sure to hit my man Shelton Jordan up. That's 504-734 3579. Be sure to holler at my man Shelton over at Lamarque Ford Crescent City. Y'all don't go nowhere. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on Inside the Trenches, baby. It's time to talk draft. Hello, somebody. We out?
Construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Ford City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing, all Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing. All Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Ford Crescent City. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Well, hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon BIGFAV Favorite. And yeah, we got the man in the hour. You know, he had to swim here. You know, it's flooded down here in Louisiana, in New Orleans, y'all. So we got CL NOLA. Y'all make sure y'all follow him at CL_NOLA. You know, CL is the man with the master plan. If you want to know, you know, stick around for the last segment because we can't wait to hear about him. We want to take this time also to give a big shout out to Montero Motors. Remember, y'all can visit MonteroMotors.com. They're at 1512 North Causeway Boulevard, right there in Metairie, Louisiana. Hit Alberto up and just say, hey, Big Fav, so I can come over here, get a nice deal on a used vehicle. Be sure to let him know that. Like, oh, yeah, come on, I'm going to get you straight. You my people. And me, Casa, su Casa, baby. Fam is fam. And speaking of which, one of my childhood best friends and what I like to say, the assistant coach over there at Edna Karr, we have Coach Frank Benoit in the building, also known to the world as Moolah Music. Y'all checked out a lot of our songs throughout this platform. Well, he's also a football guy like me as well, so he's going to stick around, talk a bit of the draft, and have some of these top stories. Speaking of top stories, let's go around the league, check out some of the top stories. CL, I'll start with you. Tons of stuff buzzing around Shedeur Sanders. I know down here in New Orleans, we want him. It's gone as far as the Saints' social media page did their mock draft Monday. They had Shedeur on there as a potential first round. They also some of the names that's popping up. When you think about some of the strong rumors about Shedeur being a high percentage that he goes to the Saints, you still basically standing on what you talked about a year ago.
Probably a little longer than a year ago, Fav. But I mean, honestly, guys, I've said it in previous podcasts. Of course, I would love Shedeur to be in that black and gold. But the reality of the situation is that the situation that we have surrounding the team, if we're thinking team-orientated, we have too much dead money to pick a first-round pick that high and not have him actually play the entire year or just maybe a portion of the year probably wouldn't fly. And the reality of the situation is, we probably go in a different direction. So that's the reality of it. I would love to see Shedeur. I'm sure New Orleans would love to see Shedeur here. But I think we need a more impact player immediately. Someone, because I believe that Shedeur is impact, but I believe that's in the future. Especially if he doesn't play this year. But we need an impact player that's going to be impactful September 9th.
Well, hold on. Okay, and I know that your tone changed, and we'll come to you here in a second here, Coach Frank, but I know that your tone changed with that even more after Derek Carr's injury. So I mean, I'm hoping that I'm kind of, I guess, not to play devil's advocate, but just to kind of give a different perspective. We can find somebody for low, like a Teddy Bridgewater type player to come in and mentor Shedeur, but we need, I think, even more now than ever, I think that electrifying position that we talk about on offense might need to come from the quarterback position. Just because, even more so with the Derek Carr injuries.
I would love it, Fav. I promise you I would love it. I forecasted 3 years ago. I would love it. But, you know, I'm your GM.
There you go.
And I don't just deal with feelings. I deal with numbers. And the number game tells us that there's too much dead money. We could get Shedeur on a 5-year deal, but try sitting Shedeur for the first year, and he's the 9th overall pick. Try, you know, blocking for him if we don't address the guard position.
Right.
Like, so that it's a big, you know, I'm GM. It's a big picture situation to me, and I would love Shedeur to be here, but the reality of the situation is we would probably make more of a splash if we got the DN Walker, or you know, of course, I'm a fan of Tyler Warren,
the tight end.
For sure.
I'm with
just immediate impact.
Well, Coach Frank, you coach on the offensive side of the ball for Edna Karr. Y'all have a superstar over there in John Johnson III, so you know all about elite quarterbacks. Are you leaning towards more with CL saying getting an electrifying player like a Ty Warner, who's arguably the best tight end in this year's draft? Or would you, if Shedeur's there at 9, you go there?
I say this. Until the Derek Carr situation, I felt I felt the same. You know, we don't need a quarterback right now. Let's just get the team. You know, let's draft good.
Yeah.
One reason why I like Shedeur is it could bring the Saints back into the limelight. You know, the cameras, the fans, the headlines back in prime time. People wanting to play with Shedeur. You know, we ain't have that since Breeze. You know,
right.
I do feel like he could bring us that. You know, he's been having money, so I don't think him getting money gonna change him. He gonna be who he is from day one. I like that. But my baby in the draft is Gentry. I wish I kind of wish he slide to us some kind of way.
Like 40?
You know, running backs touch the ball 350 times a season. You know, that's automatically 1,200 yards we didn't have last year that we could use this year.
That's immediate impact,
you know, what do a good young quarterback need? A run game. Our run game, you know, we need help. You know, Alvin Kamara is our best offensive player, and he getting older. We need someone that we could just turn around and say, hey, he can make a play. So that's my sleeper if he falls in the first round. But like he said, it has to be an impact player. I don't want nobody who can't come in and contribute right now at 9.
I'm with you. I'm feeling y'all out on impact player at offense. If y'all just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, we're joined by Coach Frank from Edna Karr. Me and CL have been talking about this draft thing for a while. As we get closer to the draft, by the way, this Thursday we will have a draft party right here at Loyola University, baby. It's the March to 9, so we're going to be here for about the first 10 picks. It's going to be time to go home. Hello, somebody. But, you know, you guys, both of y'all make pretty compelling takes on this. My only thing is this, and shouts out to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I was with Clyde this weekend. We've seen the impact he's had in the NFL. He's won a Super Bowl. He did come on to the team late. He is, in my opinion, an explosive player on offense that's still kind of young. He's still
sure.
He ran up to me, hey, man, he had the ice on like Coach Moolah. You know what I'm saying? He was rolling.
A lot of tread on the tire.
Alvin is still a servable back, especially could be elite. Like we could see one of those elite years we've seen in years past with a new system in on offense with Coach Moore. So, yeah, y'all, I'm with y'all, but, I think Coach Frank might have made a good point when he said he kind of hopes he falls, like Gentry falls.
Yeah. That's a wish.
Look, 40, we got 40.
And Coach, on Inside the Trenches, we call that a wish list.
It's a wish list. Yeah. Yeah,
Because I honestly don't see him getting past the Raiders at 6.
And I felt like it was two guys. You know, Warren and Gentry is the two playmakers. I feel like we definitely need on offense. We don't have no big body receivers to go over the middle. Since Mike, you know, we've been missing that. I mean, I wish we give Mike a call. Hello.
All right, hello.
You know, hey, you know,
I'm all for
but
it,
yeah, I'm with you. You know, we need playmakers on offense to help the young guys. Whether we draft somebody late in the draft in the second round, or if we roll with Spencer, we gotta get playmakers on offense. We don't have any.
All right, well, we're gonna move along a little bit here, y'all. I want to touch base on some of the positions of value in the draft. Before we went on air, we're just kind of looking at how some of these positions over time has not necessarily lost its need, but its value in the draft or value of high money picks. So you look at positions like running back and linebacker. He just said Gentry may fall to 40 because he is one of the more explosive players, but if somebody feel like they need to go to the high-powered edge rusher or they might have a bigger need for a receiver, he could fall lower. Linebackers, these guys are typically coming in 5th round, 6th round, and being all pro, you know. Right. But CL, I come to you first. Do you feel like that running back position still has a little pop to it? I mean, last time I've seen a lot of bread just pushed that way was Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
Back in 2017 draft. But you know, the other positions that they say are premier positions: quarterback, edge, O-line, wide receiver, cornerback.
Well, you know, I don't believe in any of that rhetoric, Fav, because you know I've stated before in the past. Look what happened in this last year's free agency running back situation. Henry goes to Baltimore. They run their way into the playoffs. Jacobs goes to Green Bay. He has 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
And we all know that Saquon did and how he really elevated that team to a Super Bowl win. So I could never devalue guys that show their value.
Even in the draft, though.
Well,
because, I mean, those guys are proven running backs, and they did show their value.
With a back like Gentry, I feel like he's such an impact player. He kind of reminds me of Saquon. And Saquon was drafted, 4th overall?
Yeah.
So I could see that. 6 at Raiders, I can see that. A guy that, like you said, Coach broke down the carries. I actually loved it. Coach broke down the carries. You give him 300 touches, he's going to give you 1,200.
There you go.
There you go.
I can
he's young.
I can
okay.
believe that.
Well, CL said he's not buying. He's the GM. He's not buying that position, losing its value, not even in the draft. You may have some linebackers, particularly the ones that are the edge, like the jokers in the rovers, the guys that are stand-up rushers that could actually cover too. Those are going to continue to be first 5 picks.
But isn't your guy Parsons quintessentially a linebacker?
He's
outside linebacker.
He was so the value. So it's
Coach.
Your traditional linebacker, like Pete Warner came to the Saints in like the 2nd round. I guess that's you know what it seems like the theme has been. But hey, the running backs made some noise this year because the 3 went other places and shine. Okay, let's kind of look into some teams, y'all. Here, this is the last one before we take a quick break. What teams are in desperate need of quarterback? Now, I see 2 teams that come to mind right away. Well, actually 3. The Giants, the Vikings, and I'm going to say it's the Saints. These are 3 teams, especially with the new news of Derek Carr. The reason the Vikings, in my opinion, guys, are a team that's a front runner, need a quarterback, not saying J.J. McCarthy isn't a great quarterback. He just doesn't have any skins on the wall. So you're saying,
I've been saying that since last year. I don't believe in McCarthy.
Well, with the Michigan, you were saying that when he was at Michigan.
I don't believe in McCarthy. I'm almost convinced that the Minnesota Vikings would actually visit the thought process of bringing Cousins back. Because you're telling me you're gonna put the keys to this boy in the hand. Not just his rookie year is starting all over again, but now he's coming off an injury. So as your GM, I wouldn't believe any of that. I would see a veteran going to Minnesota wouldn't have a bigger need for quarterback, such as we would say the Saints, because what have we not done in New Orleans? Develop a quarterback.
Yeah.
We have the time now. Rat-tat-tat, let's develop develop Rattler and see what we really have by surrounding him with the things that Coach mentioned, the things that you mentioned, and as well as an offensive line.
Coach Frank, I'm going to come to you, but CL, when you start looking at the Saints' depth at quarterback, right, you have Hayner.
Yes, sir.
You have Rat-tat-tat. You had Derek Carr, but now, the trade rumors and all that stuff. So I'm kind of
June 1 cut.
Most New Orleans for what even everybody probably Louisiana we ain't really tripping.
Yeah.
So, Coach, out of all of those teams, I know I mentioned the Giants too. Who you think are most needed quarterback?
I think a sleeper team will probably be Miami. I think Miami with the Tua situation, that might could be a team that might decide to trade back in the draft and get a quarterback in the late first. The Rams too. I think the Rams with Matthew Stafford, they was willing to kind of get off him, but the money wasn't right, so he stayed. I think they might look at a young quarterback like Dart, in late first round and say, okay, we might just take a chance on him and put him behind Stafford for a year or two before somebody else grab him. So that's just two sleeper teams out of the obvious. Everybody know Cleveland, New York. Those teams need quarterbacks.
Both New Yorks. Go.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that, and shouts out to Coach Aaron Glenn, I don't believe that he really is going to go in his day one starter with Justin Fields as the starting quarterback for the Jets.
I think he might. And only reason why I say that is because he's going to come in with that defensive run the ball thing, and Justin might only throw the ball maybe like 20 times a game.
Yeah, he's
like in the beginning. Like you're going to see a lot of Tebow. It's not going to be a lot of throwing, but they got the backs to run it a lot.
They do.
So, they
do.
So I'm looking for
Young
them.
too.
Yeah. I think they might roll with him and draft somebody later.
Okay, well, look, y'all, it's Inside the Trenches. This thing is getting right where we need it to be as we're getting ready for this year's 2025 draft. I'm pretty sure it's going to be full of a couple of surprises, too. Well, look, y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. Before we take a break, we want to give a big shout-out to Lamarque Crescent City Ford right there in Harahan, Louisiana. As I mentioned to y'all before, if y'all in need of contractors, y'all in need of, like, new construction cars, electrical vehicles, like saying like energy users. The energy, I might be talking to y'all. Y'all might need to go holler at my man Shelton Jordan, 504-734-3579. Let him know you heard about him on Inside the Trenches. He is their fleet manager. Again, that's at Lamarque Ford Crescent City. Well, look, baby, it's Inside the Trenches, and that's exactly what we're going to do our next segment. We're going to look at some of the top offensive linemen and defensive linemen. Y'all know that's where the game is won and lost at Inside the Trenches. We're going to check out some of those guys in this year's draft, and I can't wait to hear these guys' comments on that. It's Inside the Trenches, baby. We'll be back. Hello, somebody.
Inside the Trenches.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got it. Great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing. All Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Ford Crescent City. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got it. Great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing. All Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Ford Crescent City. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got it. Great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing. All Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got it. Great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing. All Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Man, welcome back, Carter. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Favorite, and we want to definitely thank ESPN Baton Rouge for having us on their YouTube channel. And y'all make sure that y'all tune in every week, every Monday, 6:30 right here. We'll have guests like Coach Frank over all the time. have players, some musicians through here, authors, you name it. Everybody come here and talk a little sports and entertainment with us. Speaking of support, I want to thank Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for their support of the show. 143 Lapalco Blvd right there in Gretna. You could call Rob at 504-393-2445. Mention BIGFAV for special rates. I know a lot of our folks are tuning in South Louisiana. I'm talking about that Morgan City area, St. Martinsville, even as far over here as far as down in Lafitte, the Rose. Listen, I know y'all can definitely use, and Rob does business all throughout the state. Y'all can for sure use his help with the house elevation. They have really great rates right now. Holler at him, let him know that you heard about him on Inside the Trenches, and I will have his information under this show. Guys, let's keep this thing going. We had fun the first segment talking about the different needs, or should I say the direction we feel they will go at Shador, or what team needs quarterbacks or what have you. I won't go inside the trenches now. I won't take it inside the trenches. We will look at a number of teams and their needs, but I want to look at some of the top linemen in this year's draft. We know about Will Campbell. I think Will be the first lineman off of the board.
He will.
We just talked to Will I always think he with me. That was shouts out to Vince. Vincent was with me. But we talked to Will at the spring game last Saturday. In a good mood. Shook hands, kissed babies with all the kids. Yes, indeed. You know what I'm saying?
First old lineman off the board.
Hello, somebody. I think the vehicle you pulled up in, I think the doors went up. I don't know. It was something like that. But either way it go, it's not to mention he's going to be one of the first offensive linemen off the board.
Top five.
Top five, no doubt. CL, I want to ask you about the guy on the other side of the ball of him. On the other side of the line, and Emory Jones. Do you think Emory is one of those guys that might happen to slip in the first round? First round.
Well, you know my philosophy about the first round, and I think you recall me saying that I think the first round ends probably at about pick 12, so I could easily.
Want these people to comment on this thing.
I adore you to do that, but no, I just think that. The player that you can get at 37 is the same player that you could get at 17. So with that being said, Emory Jones can go anywhere from 17 to 37, 40, but still have that talent, as the best right tackle coming off the board. Obviously, we know Will is the best left tackle coming off the board, but that's my opinion. Let the chats discuss the rest.
Talk to me, Coach Frank. You watch Emory Jones a lot. You've, of course, coached a lot of these LSU players. We'll get into that next segment. But when you look at Emory Jones, do you see him as one of those guys that, man, he probably should have took a trip to New York? Or do you see him as one of those players? Because I guess from my opinion, working for LSU Sports Radio, seeing these guys each week, it wasn't that big of a difference between the two to keep it real. That's why I brought the first round thing up first.
I think he have high potential. I think what kind of killed his, his whole energy was our offense, our style of play at LSU this year. Mm-hmm. We didn't run the ball well, and him thriving on being like a physical type tackle. He couldn't really show that all the time. And sometimes you just don't have your best year, and I just think he played great, but I don't think he had his best year he could have had. I think whoever get him is going to be a decision whether if he going to move the guard. I like him at guard, me personally. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's going to stop him from playing tackle. I mean, what is my opinion? But I do think, like Coach, like he said, it's going to be, anywhere from 17 to
30,
30, 40 something. He could go right in that range, and that don't take nothing away from him. I just think, if we would have ran the ball well, where he could have had more to show, I think he could have probably snuck into that top 20, top 15 maybe. But I mean, hey, whoever get him gonna get a steal. He a hell of a football player.
Yeah, and we know the trends of the draft, Coach. We know that. Once a player comes off, now it's a run on tackles, right?
Yep.
Now it's a run on guard. So we understand that it can elevate Because if a run pops out, because I personally said earlier that I don't see Campbell going past 4 with the Patriots.
Yeah.
I felt like they're going to decide to protect Drake instead of getting a weapon, say maybe Travis, right?
Right.
You know, whatever Travis going to be. We'll discuss that another day.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But,
I mean, we probably,
So, you know, and then you have Mimbo, you know, you have Mimbo, and then if there's a run, like I said, if there's a run on tackles, I could see Emery coming up.
Yep.
And that's
But if
what I'm
it just
thinking
plays
about.
out as it is, I
Right.
think he's in that range like Coach said.
And when you say play out as it is, I think about the order of the draft. Is the draft balanced, basically. But you look around the league, teams like Indianapolis, Miami, for certainly the Bengals.
Right.
These teams need offensive linemen. So if we get into that first round and Mimbo falls off, of course he's set to fall off early. From Texas, is my Kelvin Banks.
Okay.
He's another one that may fall off because I'm looking at the success of these young men. College football playoffs, being at Mimbo. I mean, it just is what it was at Missouri, but.
Right.
I mean, Luther and Burden, the third, probably one of the first receivers or second receivers to come off the board. Josh Simmons. What if these guys start falling off to teams that need them? Miami needs an offensive line.
But they will, Fee.
Yeah.
Because we're never right here when we sitting here, we're never factoring in what trades do. What trades do is move somebody up, and then once they select that person, everybody else gets bumped down. So you could easily see a Tyler Booker from Alabama. He's quintessentially the best guard coming out. Across the line. But you could see him slipping into the second round because once, let's just say, Pittsburgh trades up with the New Orleans Saints to come up to 9 to get Shador. Everything bumps down.
See how he slid that in there?
Hey.
I'm telling you, y'all go check out some of our old shows. Man, Shador coming to the Saints. We waiting on him. Things change. Let's go on the defensive side of the ball, guys. One of the more consistent interior defensive linemen in this draft has been Mason Graham.
Oh, sure.
I saw him training with BT the other day on my Instagram. I see it. All the drills we did from this past summer, he was hitting them. You know, boom, boom. Hands quick, could move. He has that low center of gravity. I think the thing that's more impressive with him is his ability to play in different systems. He can go to a 3-4 team, play exceptionally well. He can go to a 4-3 team and handle his business in the one gap. But the trickery he uses, he will pretend he's losing in the gap, and then once the running back commit, goes back and make a play. Coach Frank, we'll come to you first. When you look at a player like Mason Graham, we know he's going to go higher in the draft. What team you think might end up snagging him?
I mean, I hate to kind of go with the mocks, but you know, I'm kind of leaning toward Jacksonville. You know, Jacksonville. You know, they don't have a real interior presence like that. And honestly, I just feel like he is the best. He could play multiple positions on the D line. He is super athletic. I don't think he fall no later than maybe like the Jets. You know. Yeah.
The quintessentially the safest pick in the draft, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
He is pretty safe because, I mean, kind of the conversation we had about Brian Bruzy 2 years ago, it was safe for the Saints to go with him, an interior lineman that can make an impact, and he did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I'm just looking at the depth chart right now in Jacksonville. I know we had Devon Walker. We trained him this summer with BT. Devon Hamilton is still there. You got Mason Smith. So I see that he would add more depth to that defensive line. Jordan Jefferson, remember that Jacksonville did go after. They went to LSU D lineman last year. So
well, he would be an immediate starter.
Yeah, I'm looking at
immediate starter, and it would maybe help uplift Jacksonville with that front seven because obviously that's what they've been lacking. You know, a catalyst.
Yeah.
You know, to
they need production.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need production.
Anchor.
They have a lot of guys' bodies, but they need that production. I think that's
they have the edge.
They
have the edge.
They always have.
They got edge. They just They got to get a couple of beignets in the middle.
And then you it's Inside the Trenches. If y'all just tuning in, he's CL NOLA, he's Coach Frank. We just talking about the interior linemen, the defensive line. I meant to say the guys up front in the trenches, who's been getting their shine on, who we feel should get that call in pretty early here in the draft. And that's the whole thing. If you do have a run on offensive linemen and defensive linemen, that's good for all the interior linemen that were getting their shine on at the combine. Because I think one thing that stood out this year was the speed. Well, the second year in a row, a couple guys running 4.7s, 4.8s, like that was becoming more common on both sides of the ball. So to see that speed is something to be excited about. When you start looking at guys that are sleepers in the draft, you start to think about guys like Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. He's somebody who made a decent amount of noise on a pretty productive Texas A&M defense. We had a chance to watch them a lot with LSU Sports Radio covering them. But if you ask me, in my opinion, he's somebody that you look at as a late rounder, mid-rounder that could come in and be an immediate impact player for you on defense. Yeah, I know it's kind of terrible watching that SEC, that LSU Texas A&M game. When you look at a guy like Shamar Stewart, what team fits him? Where you think he may end up, or where he may land?
That's another first-round talent that could slip into the second, right? So it's a smorgasbord from about 15, 17, all the way to, say, 44. And, to me, looking at his tape, he's still somewhat of a project when you put him in position. Now, the right position, the right coach, the right system, all of that has to play a major part in it. So I can see him going anywhere from 17 to 45. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Frank, me and CL talked a lot about James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee. At one point, and it was kind of mind-boggling because early on in December, January, second pick off the board, he's been up and down the first round. Some even talked about him slipping in the second round. He's top first-round talent. I mean, just the top 10 buzz been there for a while. Yeah. What other teams need defensive ends like that? I mean, I know SEL.
I think this year, honestly, to go back to a point we were talking about earlier with just trenches in general, I think the shortage on offensive lineman talent this year is going to kind of move those defensive linemen back. I think that, like we just were saying, those defensive linemen, they got a lot of good fast ones. They're athletic. Right. They don't have that many offensive linemen this year. So I do feel like you're going to get a lot of good defensive linemen late first, second, third, fourth round. Yep. You're going to get those guys because right now in the league, that's everybody need pass rush. And the Eagles just showed you it's not one guy, two guys. Yeah. You kind of need 4 or 5 guys, 6 guys that's really going to get after the ball where you can rotate, That's what you need now. So, I think it's a lot of teams that's going to dive into it in those later second, third, fourth rounds because there's so much depth at D-line this year versus not as much depth with the offensive line in the draft. I think so. I think, like he said, you might get that run on tackles, and then in the late first, second, you're going to get a run on defensive ends, edge rushers. So a lot of those first-round talents going to slide. They're going to slide. Yeah.
Well, not to go outside the trenches for a second, but that kind of makes me go full circle back to the quarterback position. When you look at the first round and what we've seen a lot of, but even if we base it off of our personal point of views, Jackson Dart is a name that pops up late first round. He does. Jalen Milroe lately, I've been hearing late third. Late first. Pittsburgh might look at him, try to see what they could do with him. So it's a couple of quarterbacks. It makes me think about fit. But with the overwhelming amount of talent that you have on the offense and defense line in this draft, we may see some of these elite names. I don't think Shador, I don't think Cam may slip into the second round because of the overwhelming amount of talent on the front.
Well, we all know that the NFL draft, NFL practices, life, the game of life, it's a numbers game. And there's probably 17, 18, keep coming back to that 17 number. There's probably like 16 top 10 worthy players, but there's only 10 spots. And once you get past that 10, it's about need. It's about, it's about putting players in position that you feel that can fit that need. So, make a long story short, we're saying all of this, and we haven't experienced not one trade. We're saying all of this, and we haven't experienced not one pushback. Go. The Saints are famous for moving up.
Yeah.
Teams like the Patriots are famous for moving back. We haven't experienced any of this, but it will fluctuate the draft immediately. So with that being said, it's all just a pop-up, but at the end of the day, I believe that the top 10 players will get chosen in the top 10 picks, regardless if somebody has to come get Shador at 9, or come to 8. Come to 8 with Carolina. Carolina, like you said, Coach, Carolina can get a DN in the second round, in the third round. Give up that 8 spot to Pittsburgh for them to get Shador or whoever, and then they get an extra first round pick. Yada yada yada.
It's just, man.
Yeah.
And I'm excited, y'all, for the draft because it's gonna be fun to see what happens. And y'all stick around. We got mock draft 2.0 last segment coming up. We still here talking. We still got to stay inside the trenches, baby. We still got to stay inside the trenches. But the thing that really gets me, y'all, excited about being a former SEC player and then even seeing these guys week in and week out ball is the draft stock. When you draft an offensive or defensive lineman in the SEC, you got a day one starter. You got somebody that can initially come in and plug and play for you right away. So it's just like, it's amazing to see week in and week out. Well, I'm ready for the weekend already. It's Monday, baby. We just got here. What am I doing?
Weekend, baby.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever. But anywho, ready. It's exciting to see these SEC lineman names pop up a lot consistently. The number one guy on the offensive line right now in the draft, we're talking about Will Campbell. He right out of LSU, SEC. We're talking about sleepers in the draft like Tyler Booker. He's somebody who's out of the SEC, Alabama. Let's be honest, last year wasn't the best year for Alabama.
Yeah, well, a sleeper like Swanson.
Swanson.
I was going to mention him, yeah.
And Savion Jones.
Yeah.
Savion, I saw Baldy do a breakdown on Savion. What helped him out a lot, too, CL was the Senior Bowl. He showed he could play that 3-tech as well and edge, so he's a safe bet. I mean, I could imagine him going as early as late second round, but for sure a mid-rounder. Yeah, so it's something to look forward to.
And there's hype about, the wide receiver from Arizona, him being one of the top receivers. But if there isn't a run on receivers, you could see a Jaden Higgins, really fill in. Is he 6'4", 215? Is he the next Michael Thomas? Is he the next T. Higgins? No pun intended. But this is what happens in the course of this draft. And at this point, this is the Monday of draft week. I don't believe nothing. I'm staying true to my board. Whatever flashes on TV for the next 4 days.
It's cool conversation. Let's talk. No, but listen, y'all. If y'all are just tuning in, it's Inside the Trenches. We're live here at the Loyola Studios on a wet Monday. Weather, it feels good though, but like he had to swim here. See how coming about the bayou you had to get here. But this is the week of the draft. Does kick off this Thursday. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on YouTube as well. We will run our live draft show on my page this week, this Thursday. We're going to go from pick 1 to 10. We might get Coach Moolah might come through. We got to get the wings in here, baby. We got to holler at our people with the wings.
Come on.
We may have some special guests come by too. So I don't want to tell y'all everything. We want to keep it a surprise. We'll keep it a surprise, but we will want y'all to tune in. So once again, like and subscribe to Inside the Trenches on YouTube. Yeah, y'all, you brought up wide receivers. Now you're making me go outside the trenches again. We talked about Tyler Warren, his value. You also have what's the receiver's name from Alabama? I mean from Arizona, McMillan. His first name slips me. He's a big time receiver. Luther Burden, we talked about him. Golden as well, out of Texas. Yeah, Texas have
Texas got 2 boys.
Yeah, they got two boys. Matthew Golden is his name.
Right.
So the receiver position is one of those, what they say, a priority pick. You know, you get your good receiver, you can have somebody come in, get 10 touchdown catches for you in a year, and make some significant noise. Well, we'll get to the Saints, the last segment, but when y'all start looking at key skill players, the receiver position, DB position, is it anybody that really comes to mind? I mean, for me, y'all, I'm Luther and Burden. Just seeing him the last few years, working with LSU Sports Radio, I mean, that dude could come in and be.
What you said in the timeout, Coach? What you said? Number 9 from Michigan.
Yeah.
Tell him.
I mean, I like Will Johnson. You know, I think you know we missing Lattimore. Alante Gray was not good last year playing outside. Once everybody went down. This kid actually has a higher grade than Alante, way better. Focus grade. I think if he come in, if everybody's taken off the board and we can't get a guy, I think he's a day one starter at DB that could come in and be the number 1 guy. And then you'll have your 2 outside guys. You have your, Reed and Matthew in the back. Now your secondary kind of solidified. Put Alante back in the slot where he comfortable. Now you got your guys, and you could, if it falls like that, But I only take that scenario if all of the babies are gone.
Yeah.
And then
all of the wish list.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, all right, boom. All like the Taylor Warren.
Yeah.
Shadora's gone.
Yeah.
Everybody we talked about.
Will Johnson could have got drafted last year.
Right.
He decided to come back. So he's a guy who I think is ready to come in and start day one. He's a big corner. He runs well. He covers well. I do think it's a shot. It's a long shot on us getting him if the premier offensive guys are taken. Right. And I do still think that offensive line would probably be a premium over him if one of those guys fall too. I think a tackle spot probably. I don't think that they just gonna say, "Oh, we good with the line." I think they'll take another good lineman and move him to guard, or move one of those, and move possibly Penning to guard if possible.
See, final thoughts on these guys we talking about in these scenarios.
I can see what Coach is saying because we could take Michigan corner.
Yeah,
we could take him at 9 and then at 40 or maybe use that 3rd pick to come back up to get a Tyler Booker from Alabama and place him at guard, not really knowing what a Nick Salivary will do coming off.
Exactly.
Correct.
This, and shouts out to Will Clapp and all the gentlemen that we have brought in to help solidify the line. But it's up from here.
We need a guy.
Yeah.
We need a guy.
We need a guy.
Well, the Saints pick at 9 and at 40. That's their first 2 picks, so I can't wait till our last segment to talk about that. Well, it's Inside the Trenches, baby. We'll be right back here in a quick second. We'll talk a little high school football. Let's switch gears, baby. Let's talk about the babies. Coach Frank, that's one of the main reasons we got him here to talk about Edna Karr's historical run last season. So y'all don't go anywhere. Big shout out once again to Crescent City, Lamarque Crescent City Ford right there in Harahan. We'll be back, baby. Right here is Inside the Trenches. Hello.
Real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got it. Great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing. All Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Ford Crescent City. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
What's up, baby? What's happening with y'all? Yes, indeed. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon BIGFAV Favorite. I have my co-host here, CL NOLA, and we have our special guest in the building, Coach Frank Benoit, also known to the world as Moolah Music, joining us here on Inside the Trenches to talk about this historical run that Edna Karr had this past football season. We want to also thank our segment sponsor, Small Sliders Marrero, for sponsoring this segment. Man, Frank, we got so much we could jump into right now, but you've been around the program now for a few years at Edna Karr, so I guess talk to our viewers about how you got started with Coach Bryce over at Karr?
Sure, just a lot of hard work, man. Being in the community 20 years, putting together, youth teams, travel teams, and, running my nonprofit kind of opened up the door where me and Coach Bryce could develop a relationship over the last 4 years, which has been, awesome for my career. And also giving, me being who I am in the community, that could be life-changing, for kids in our community. Me being who I am, where I could be like almost like an operator, like back in the day where the operator had the strings, So, it's kind of like I'm almost like that person that could connect you to the other side, So it's been awesome. It's demanding, but, it teaches you a lot. It's a brotherhood. The school itself, the building, the people in the building, like I love being there. I love everybody there. And being somebody with the youth and having that place where you feel like you could bring kids and they could fulfill their visions and their dreams. And I, saw it firsthand. I'm sure we probably gonna talk about that too. It's a great place to be right now. It's a great place to be right now, and I love it.
Clearly, it's a great place to be right now, Coach, because we didn't start off this segment with congratulations.
Oh, man, thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
On another state championship for the well-known, well-traveled, well-respected Edna Karr Cougars. Tell me, Coach, what is the mission every year at Karr, since you seem to be in the state championship pretty much on the regular?
Well, I can only take credit for one, but I will say it's the determination and it's the dedication that's put in every day. It's a lot of people might think that we talk about just winning all day, but we feel like if we get the kids to win their life, they could win, and that's the most important thing with us. That's our message every day, is get 1% better at life, in the football a part of your life, or then that's a part of it too. But be a better young man. Try to be a better man today. That's the Karr motto. It rubs off on me every day. Because when you wear that cape, and you go somewhere, it's real. You people looking at you with an eye of a certain standard. So we expect that from the kids. We expect it from the coaches. The people in the building, the administration, everybody carry that same task. And I think with everybody being kind of on the same page, it's almost like a little college. Everybody just on the same page. So it's not a lot of dysfunction. And the kids thrive off of just a clear environment. And I see that. Yeah, I definitely see that.
If y'all are just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, we're joined by assistant coach. Coach Frank Benoit. Y'all make sure y'all follow him at Moolah_7 on Instagram. State champions, Edna Karr, in the historical state championship win. The reason I say that, this was the first time in the state championship history, if I'm not mistaken, y'all had a running clock.
Yeah,
what that atmosphere was like, man, because they were, you could hear it. Like the fans were going crazy. I had to listen to it on the radio. I had a mix-up with my passes, but that's another story. I'm no storyteller. Yeah, I remember. But anywho, it was a great listen. But what the atmosphere was like in the dome?
Man, first of all, it was electric. The whole week building up. Karr hadn't been in, I think like 4 years or something like that. That's right. The fan base was itching for it for years. The kids that had been in it was finally no one on the roster that had won. So the hunger of, trying to just deliver that title for the school, for the city, it meant a lot. I felt like the energy in the dome was just, it was just amazing. Like, it was almost like the kids knew they was destined for it.
Right.
They had worked so hard all year, man, put in so much time, so much effort. It was almost like, it felt like if the Saints would have pulled up that day, we would have won the game. It just was it was destined. And there's no knock to those guys. JT Lindsay is a hell of a football player. It's a well-coached team that almost went down to the wire the year before in the playoffs. So we knew the task at hand wasn't gonna be easy. But I just think our kids just, they turned it up a notch. Like, like the chef said, I had to, turn it up a notch. Like he just kind of turned, they turned up, man, and they, I don't think that they wanted to leave no stone unturned in that game. They wanted to be, undisputedly champs. Like no questions left. That's what they wanted. And they was chasing history. They was chasing, the speedies and the fats and the errands. They was chasing all of that. And them kids, they carried that for like 2-3 years, man, trying to fulfill those shoes. And, to go out there, the energy was awesome. They performed, man, at a high level.
That's great.
I mean, I can definitely concur with the notion that Karr is like a college. I actually went to Karr for a couple of years, so I could definitely speak on that. But I think we all can speak on the fact that Edna Karr is a pipeline for college coaches and interests. With all these stars, and I will say that, all these young, talented stars at Karr, Coach, how do you keep these boys humble and focused on the task at hand?
I would have to say it start with Bryce. Bryce, he run the program from top to bottom. We all know who the chief is. We just Indians. We do our job. And that's a part of our task every day is understanding that we don't have regular guys in the building. We develop, some guys come in regular, but they don't leave regular. So, as their circumstances change, our coaching change, and that's on and off the field. So, if every kid pretty much get the same attention, but I mean, I'd be lying if I tell you, a highly recruited kid is a lot of pressure. And I think like he said, trying to keep them humble. I think the program have built itself on the foundational things as kind of keeps those kids in order because we tell you right, when you come, if you come in here for an offer, it's the wrong place. It's more than that here. That's gonna come with it if you do your job. So I think that's a part of it. And like I said, Bryce run a tight ship. He don't let you get too far ahead of yourself. He let him live. He let him breathe. It's a player ran team, but it only goes so far. And I mean, he do a great job of reeling them in. Reeling them in, and it's awesome, man. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and being around y'all program, you see it. The young men are very uniform, and it carries on, especially the skills to the next level.
Right.
Frank, you've coached a couple of these players. LSU superstars. You have Aaron Anderson. You've coached him. You've coached now the new star Tyron Francois, a.k.a. Manchild. Even we got to give Tulane some love as well.
Oh, for sure.
Oliver Mitchell had a pretty decent
favorite.
Spring. Yeah, that's your Lapalco. You like
Lapalco. Red
yeah.
5.
Oh, yeah.
How has it? I mean, you've been working with these young men since youth football, so to see them flourish on the next level, bro, how that feel to you?
Oh man, it really made the year so much special. Because being with them from young, my son graduating high school this year. All those guys graduating high school, they all best friends and play ball together. I've been coaching all of them since they was young, so the potential was always there. They've always won big games, throughout their youth careers. So, knowing that they was going to stay together, be together, I knew it was going to manifest into something big, but, to see Oliver and to see Teron and to see Corey, guys from, our organization, be able to, make it like that, graduate early and go SEC, Oliver going to Tulane, staying close to home, man, like it's almost like a dream, to win a state title with the same kids you winning, tournaments with and you winning travel ball events with and to go to this stage and then they win it, it's also real, and now they fulfilling their dream. They at the colleges that they wanted to be at. So everything that we kind of laid forward before even we got the car, it was like we knew what the plan was. And, it's good to see them stick forward. Shouts out to their parents, man, for, believing in me and then also believing in the program at Karr and just understanding that you know, I had a bigger picture for those kids, you know. So those parents deserve a lot of a lot of credit. All the effort they put into those kids, you know, getting them certain places out of town, visits and stuff. Man, it was a lot of work from all us, the coaches, everybody. You know, just it's hard when these kids is highly recruited, bro. It's really hard. It's a lot of people pulling them, especially with NIL now. You know, you almost kind of got to get your kids educated on that now, and it's still new to our community.
Right.
So you know, that's one of my things now, is just trying to get the etiquette, you know, to the kids and parents of what's to be expected on that level. You know, because now it's no longer, oh, I'm just going to school. It's a business now. You know, so now it's like high school starting to trickle into the business side of it, because the decision is business from high school to college.
Right.
So. It's been good, but it's been a little stressful, you know. But more of a blessing than anything to see those kids get an opportunity to fulfill their dreams, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I can only imagine them boys getting NIL deals at the Karr. That Jesus, that's next level.
Yeah.
Like I say, Coach, a lot of stars, a lot of guys that, you know, if they still made Times-Picayune papers, would be on the front page of these, you know, local papers. I can even remember District Prep and, you know, all these magazines. I'm showing my age. You know, all these magazines that come out. But I just wonder, Coach, how do you guys keep the Karr culture so consistent?
Honestly, it's away from football, man. The culture is the teachers, it's the administrators, it's the hall monitors, it's the band directors. It's people always look at the football side of it and say, football carried the weight. And I mean, don't get me wrong, we carry our weight, we successful. But when you walk that building every day, you see, all these people with the same common goal. And which is they providing a service for the kids. And I think a lot of schools lose that along the way, where it's just a job. Karr is, it's still a service at Karr to service kids. And I think that's what keeps the culture alive. They try to continue to reinvent themselves outside of football. The pep rallies, just everything. The way that they do lunch, lunch and different things that they allow the kids to do throughout the weeks, and motivational things to get better grades and better test scores. They're not afraid to be young. The school is not afraid to be young and be adaptive to the kids. Which makes the kids feel more comfortable. Right. It helps them excel more. Yeah. They don't feel like they're bored at school. Of course that's still the thing every day. They bored, but I mean the school does a good job of staying relevant. And I think that's just a testimony to the people that's in the building away from football. That's keeping all of that going. Because I mean the game is only on Friday. Right. It's a long week, man. So, who holding the torch when we practicing, and doing all these other things, so, shouts out to our building, man. Our building is amazing, man, for real.
It's one heck of an institute. It does look like a mini college.
Yeah, man.
If y'all just tuning in Inside the Trenches, we're joined by Coach Frank, assistant coach over there at Edna, Karr, also a musician. Y'all be sure to check out his music as well. Moolah Music, streaming everywhere. We'll talk about that the last segment. But I do want to get into some of y'all current players. I saw Aiden Hall, defensive back from Edna, Karr at the LSU spring game. And, of course, Richard Anderson, top D tackle. I think he's, about some sources, the number one D tackle in his class, if not all. Man,
sound about right.
That's it. Continue rolling, right? Those young men, just talk to us about them day to day at Edna Karr practicing.
That group was always special to us. Just like the group that, it was kind of like a mixed bag group. You had the guys that's kind of leaving now. Then you had those, those incoming freshmen that's there now, that's about to be seniors. And those guys, we knew those guys was gonna kind of be special as well. Right now, LSU working. They there. To be able to get, Manchild, and now Aiden and Richard. Hey, shout out Coach Frank. He working.
Frank.
So I do feel like this year we returned a lot of good players. I feel like we man, especially at quarterback, John Johnson Jr. is awesome. He leadership wise, 3 year start. It's gonna be his 3rd year starting since a sophomore.
Wow.
He's another kid that played for our organization. Me and his dad has always been good friends. This kid is, he's the epitome of hard work. Our team, last year I always said our team was gonna go as far as Corey and Richard would let us. When 20-90 said it was enough was enough.
Yeah.
They would shut the game down.
Yeah.
This
State
year,
championship.
yeah,
Right.
this year is John year. I think John is gonna have that same kind of year where we're gonna go as far as John go, and that's his ceiling is so high. IQ is at a high level. He leads us at a high level. He hold everybody to a higher standard, even the coaches. Like he don't let us slack. And our relationship over the years have developed so much. Being an assistant to John, and not also treating him like a nephew, but treating him like he deserved to be treated, which is a highly recruited quarterback. And that was even before he even stepped on for that car. That's always been our mentality with him. And the other guys, we got Lil Mo, the DB. He committed to Liberty as well. One of the top cornerbacks in the state. Haywood, right now is the #1 cornerback in the state.
Yeah.
Our secondary going to be outstanding, man. We got kids all over. We got young kids behind them that's ready to kind of show their worth. I think we're going to have a good year. We have a couple of question marks. We developing at linebacker. We developing at receiver. We just lost. Our whole core just graduated.
Right.
They graduate. So the guys behind them are more than capable. But, it's on us to get them ready, developed as always. I mean, there's no question mark that we hadn't faced in a couple of years. Every other year the linebacker, core changes and B get them ready, Pack get them ready. Same thing with the receivers. Owen Shelby going to have those guys ready for day one spring game against Destrehan. So, with the question marks, it's always like that in the offseason. You're always going to have your what ifs. But the coaching staff we have in play, the continuity, it kind of shows up those question marks once those pads get on and practice get to going. Those guys going to start weeding out who they like and who's going to step to the, to the front. And as a staff, we always stand behind, our guys and, we support, whoever you say is the guy, that's the guy.
Yeah.
And the program just kind of roll with that, So it's going to be a good year, man. It's going to be a good year. And I think John is kind of embracing the year of not having, the Man-Childs and the Olivers to kind of show that he could still do it too, without those guys.
Right.
So I'm excited for this year, man. It's gonna be a good year, man.
It's a lot to look forward to, CL, man. To kind of piggyback on what Frank's saying about John. I watched him throughout the season. I went to a handful of Karr games.
So did I.
Take on it. That's right. You was probably the one I'm talking about. You was at the one they played St. Aug.
Yes.
One thing I liked about John, Bryce had told him a new one on the sideline. He ate it, didn't see nothing change in his emotion, and it didn't affect his game. So that's something I picked up on that young man. And then even from the recruiting end, I started to see like a couple of schools like South Alabama show interest, and now you're starting to see bigger schools. So to watch him develop, to Coach's point, has been great.
Well, clearly, the Karr Cougars develop quarterbacks a lot better than the New Orleans Saints. So we'll give all shouts and props to the building. Congratulations again, Coach.
Man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
man.
big.
There's so much talent that flows through there and constantly, and I love how you give credit to the building. What's next for Karr?
Man, that's a good point. Coach always say in a couple of the staff meetings, he might say it twice a year. Who gonna be that guy that feel like we haven't done enough? It's always room for improvement. I think for us is consistency now that we've showed that we can play 5A ball. that we could develop 5A talent and be able to win with the talent. Now is how consistent can we be, and not necessarily just chasing the past, but how consistent we be in our own era, right now. Can we be dominant over years like some of the past call teams, and I think that's going to be our next venture is how long can this era last? And is it just, right now and then next year is going to be another 5A team or can we display dominance for a couple of years and have an era with this group that's there now and the group that's coming up, so
That makes sense.
yeah. I think that's next for us is showing that we could be consistent with our reclaim. We reclaimed our place this year with the title. That was coach's message all from day one is reclaim. Now can we reclaim the consistency of being that program again? And just, we could win games, but can we win that, can we be on the carpet consistently every year, each year and out? I think that's going to be our task now is blocking out the noise and creating our own era.
Well, it does all start with spring ball. Y'all got spring ball coming up. That's going to be the first look at the city. A couple of scouts that's coming in town. The other teams around state. What does this Edna team look like when it lost a lot of starters? So, I guess how has this off-season training program been for the returning juniors getting ready to get for spring ball?
I would say this: the staff is moving fast, because it's a turnover year, so people, everybody kind of got their hands to the ground working. We play Destrehan in the spring game. That's always a big challenge for us every year. They're going to come out and be physical. They're a 5A team. They discipline like us. They have the game skill like us. They mirror us in a lot of ways. So, it's always a good challenge to get out there and see where we at, to give our guys who don't have that experience, to get that experience and get a good team. Shout out Jabbar Mack. That's one of my other guys that Destrehan, #1 receiver in the state right now. Love him to death. It's gonna be a good developmental game for us to get a lot of kids some reps that need it. Some of our backup quarterbacks, man, need those reps.
Tall boys, big boys.
John, John only gonna be here for a couple of more months, man, and then January gonna come in. He gonna be out of here, going on to Liberty. So, those guys, we need those guys to perform in the spring game, and I think we're actually gonna go live with the quarterbacks, with the backups, in that game, just to give them a real feel for it, they need it. So I think those juniors, that's stepping up, we're going to try to get them as much work as possible in the next couple of weeks with these padded practices and getting them in the spring game and trying to get some of these young quarterbacks some work. But I know for sure Coach O, Coach Shelby going to have that rotation going to be kind of heavy at receiver. They're going to try to narrow that down and find their guys. And same thing at linebacker. I think Coach Pat, Coach Brennan going to try to, throw a lot of bodies out there on, spring game and see what stick and see who, will rise to the occasion. So, it's, those juniors that's coming up, they got a big task ahead of them, so, we just got to keep coaching them hard and, trust the process that they're going to deliver. Yeah.
Well, he's Coach Frank Benoit. He's going to stick around with us a little, another segment. We got one more segment. Time does fly when you're having a good time, baby. We're going to take a quick break. Coach Frank, thank you so much for coming on to talk about Edna Karr. Edna Karr takes on Destrehan this spring ball. That's going to be a big mega spring game, too. I know it's going to be fun to watch for the locals. Well, hey, y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Inside the Trenches. And once again, big shout-out to Small Sliders and Montero for sponsoring this segment. Y'all don't go nowhere. When we come back, I guess this is the war room. We're going to turn this thing into the Saints war room and see where we're going. We're going with that mock draft 2.0. It's Inside the Trenches, baby, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge, YouTube Live. Watch out there now.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
Hi, it's Alberto Montero. We got a great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing. All Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Ford City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can build it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on ESPN.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the Trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Welcome back, baby. It's Inside the Trenches. I'm your host, Marlon Favorite. I have my co-host here, CL NOLA, and we got our guest co-host, Coach Frank, gonna stick around with us as we stick here in this same draft room. I want to take this time to thank once again Lamarque Crescent City Ford right there in Harahan. Remember, if you're a construction company, a subcontractor, you're looking for a new work vehicle, be sure to hit up Fleet Manager Shelton Jordan at 504-734-3579. Tell them that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches, and we're going to keep it going. So, Frank, you new to this one. Me and CL kind of been going back and forth the direction the Saints should take with their picks. So for our viewers, and shouts out to everybody tuning in, commenting on the page, continue to comment, give us y'all's deals. I'll try to get Hannah Montana. I'll see if Hannah can read and let us know if anybody's saying something. If, obviously we here, we want to time in and see what y'all have to say about the draft.
Right.
Now, the Saints do pick. They have the 9th pick overall in the first round. The second round, they have 40.
Yep.
They have 2/3, both 71 and 93. They have 2 4s, both 112 and 131. They also have a 6 at 184 and 2 7s. Those 7s are valuable, by the way. 248, and 254. That's pretty much their roundup. I'm going to stick to my guns that I said last week to our viewers. I still think we get Shedeur at 9. I know a lot of folks are saying that's what they see. I mean, it's a big topic. It's been an even bigger topic since Derek Carr. I just feel like a Shedeur Sanders would be the guy to go with if he's still there. I even seen a scenario where they traded up for him. So I'm sticking with quarterback. That's the explosive offensive player we need. Frank, you a guest before we go to CL. He the GM, so we might well have him go last. What's your take on Shedeur? I heard you say Gentry earlier. That's your guy?
Well, Gail, you could go ahead and hire him now, Gail. For real. But honestly, realistically, man, Shedeur would be good, man. For the culture of the city and everything. I just feel like we have too many needs right now. And I honestly don't think Shedeur gonna fall to us now with the whole Derek Carr leaking the information. I think it would make teams more quarterback hungry now because they know we would be right there. I gotta go with Tyler, man. Tyler Warren, man. I don't think we're gonna get Gentry, and I think I don't think they have a receiver that's that guy right here. But Tyler's that guy that could play multiple positions. He could be a good blocker.
Right.
And, we haven't had a playmaker at tight end in a while, man. I mean, there's no shade at Jawan, man. But, he's been battling injuries. We kind of, we need a big body target on the offense. So, I'm leaning with that, man. I'm leaning with the Tyler Warren thing, man. If that's where we gotta go.
I mean, I can't help but agree, Coach. Immediate impact.
Yeah.
Immediate impact in the passing game. Immediate impact in the run game. This young man was everything for the Nittany Lions last year. He actually threw the ball at some point in time last year. He was such a dynamic offensive threat. And I think pairing him with a Jawan Johnson, so we can still have that 2 tight end attack would bode well, because what do we really need to do? Protect whoever the mass protect whoever the quarterback is in New Orleans. But it would be because I just see Gentry gone.
Yeah.
There's just no way he gets past the Raiders. Yeah, it's just no way. I can even argue a Travis dropping, right? I can't argue a Will dropping. The only reason why I would argue a Travis dropping is because some GMs might shy away from him with his verbiage about not wanting to play just one side of the ball. I think the NFL is a humbling situation for everybody. It's just the moment in time that it happens for you. So besides that, I think Tyler Warren is the exact pick for the New Orleans Saints, because you can't come back and you can either stay there or you can just wait at 40, which is quintessentially the end of the first round.
Yeah, exactly.
So Wes, we good on that, right? We keeping tabs on that for Thursday spin. We got that. So Tyler Warren, Shador. That's where we're going. All right. See where we're going.
And please,
Right.
let me speak to Shador.
Go ahead. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's no one on this planet that wants Shador Sanders in New Orleans more than me. I understand the marketing of it with that number 2, because let's just say Cam goes to Tennessee, right? Number 1 pick overall. Who jersey gonna sell out? Shador in the black and gold or Cam Tennessee jersey?
Oh,
it's not even close.
It's not even close.
It's not even
Shador,
close.
yeah, there you go.
You're talking about uplifting a rivalry. You're telling me the New Orleans Saints are going to draft the product son of the greatest player to ever play for the Atlanta Falcons, and now him and Penix go at it for the next 10 years?
Oh, man.
What is the effect of that? That game, and just like Coach says, we go from the outhouse to the penthouse because now we're leading Sports Center.
Yeah.
In
I'm
the
with you.
conversation of
Yeah,
Shador Sanders.
yeah.
So let it be known. I would love to have Shador come to New Orleans.
would.
But the reality of the situation, it looked more like Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
I'm typing away over here, y'all, because they're responding crazy right now. Well, not crazy.
Talk to me, chat.
They want Shadora for the
we-
same reasons.
We all do. We all do. We all do.
For the selling of the jerseys, but we're talking immediate need, and I know y'all brought up Oakland. They do have Geno Smith,
Right.
but after that, it's a big drop off with Aiden O'Connor and Carter
just
Bradley.
gave Geno
So
a deal.
that's why I was saying the Saints might get a little nervous and jump and go grab a Shador at 6 because they might worry that. It's no way Shador is sitting down.
Could it be a scenario where maybe the Giants don't want another D lineman because they already kind of D line strong there? Maybe they don't want Abdul Carter since now the Derek Carr news came out, and it's like, oh well, we kind of stacked that D line a little bit.
Right.
Maybe we don't go with Abdul Carter. Maybe they don't like the foot injury. Maybe they say, well, let's just go ahead and take Shador now.
Right.
That's where I'm kind of leaning at now with the news that's coming out. I think people thought that Shador would fall far and they would have an opportunity to trade back in. And now that's not looking like it's going to be the case because you got the Saints sitting here at 9. Like, hey, we could use a quarterback here. Y'all let Shador fall. We'll take him and we'll address the rest of the draft with the other picks down the
some
line.
good picks, bro.
So I do think it's a scenario where if the Giants don't pull a trigger and, maybe the Raiders don't pull a trigger and he fall, we could draft Shador. We would want Shador, like we said. But realistically, you talking about there's, the number 1 quarterback on some people's board sliding to 9. That's a far cry, man. And the Saints are not in a predicament where I think we should be giving up draft capital.
you would give up like one of them thirds.
No,
But it wouldn't be that easy, though.
I wouldn't. See,
it wouldn't be that easy.
The only way I would draft Shador is if he drops to 9. It's too rich to move up to 6.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe, and I was going to hold this for draft day, I do believe the San Francisco 49ers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, would trade up to 8 to the Carolina Panthers, who don't need a quarterback. What do the Carolina Panthers need? They need edge. They can get edge by moving back and letting and giving up a king's ransom. Even though, and I said this to Coach in the break, that I believe the San Francisco 49ers move up the draft Shador so they don't have to pay Brock Purdy and get Shador on a 5-year deal with 2 years of
2 years of optional? No.
2 years of Jesus.
It's not an option, huh?
No, fifth year. They're gonna pick up his 5th-year option, and they're going to franchise tag. They can franchise tag him 2 years. So that's 7 years on a rookie deal.
Well, right now, San Francisco is at 11, and quarterback is not a need, right?
If they're not gonna pay Brock Purdy,
if they're not
$45 million a year.
Yeah, but Brock Purdy, your guy. Let's go on the second round. It's a Brock Purdy era, baby. It's a Brock Purdy.
Come on.
It's a Brock Purdy party. All right, well, 40 could feel like a first rounder. You could get a first round talent at pick 40, and I'm going to stick with my guy, who is first round talent right at it, Emory Jones Jr., LSU. It wouldn't be bad you have a couple of LSU guys in the building now. It seems like the Saints are being a little LSU happy lately, which isn't a bad thing. Shouts out to Tyron and all of those guys. But first round talent, second round, shore up that offensive line. Now, the shuffle, right? What we're going to do with the shuffle, you have Ramchak has officially retired, so he's not coming back. Do you keep Penning and Fuaga on the edge, Emory Jones at a guard, and have Nick Solividary at guard and Eric McCoy at your center, or kick Emory out to the tackle, move Penning on the inside?
For me, personally, and I've stated this and I'm going to keep saying this, I'm not going to move Penning out one more time. I personally believe Penning is a respectable right tackle, and he will get better.
Okay.
We need to get better on the interior.
Yes.
I believe we need to get a Tyler Booker from Alabama to replace a Nick or compete with a Nick Solividary that's been hurt the last 2 years from Old Dominion. So that would show up, help next to Fuaga, so he can concentrate on those speed demons coming off the end and ensure that he doesn't have to help the number one guard coming out of college this year.
Yeah, you'll have some decent guards, Frank, in this draft that you could get with one of those picks. Or you may look at some trades that happen because you can't trade for players.
Right. Okay.
So I do look at guard as a third need, wide receivers up there for me, quarterbacks up there for me. When you look at pick 2, do you see them going with a guy like Emory Jones, or do you have another position?
I actually like the Emory Jones pick, Fave.
Okay.
Just to give us a different perspective, I feel like if we had to go with the blue chipper, whether if it's whoever in the first round, a playmaker, non-quarterback, right? My scenario would be, here we are again, don't move up. You have Spencer here, right? You have Spencer here. So we have a little invested here in quarterback. Let's just take what come to us at that spot. If it's Jalen Miro or if it's another one of those quarterbacks, let them come in and battle with Spencer. And I that's if we go skill, a line or something in the first round. I feel like let the second round, let a quarterback fall to you. Don't move up. Don't put no pressure on the pick. Take who come to you. And if you don't like the pick, take an Emory Jones. Take a lineman. Because we need another guard. I mean, Cesar Luis is good on the right side. That left side have been a revolving door for about 3 years now. We have got to get a guy in there that could actually come in and solidify that spot. I'm with him. I think Penning gonna be a good right tackle. He showed promise last year. I wouldn't move him again. I wouldn't move him again.
3 years in a row, Coach.
Sidebar, y'all know Marcus Davenport had 9 sacks for the Saints in 2021. 9 sacks.
Wow. I wouldn't.
I know that was hella random.
Wow.
The reason I brought him up because of Trevor Penning may potentially fill the shoes of a first round. I mean, that was
right. I think he will eventually, as long as we don't draft nobody from, somewhere where we don't know.
I feel like that.
I think
he was a surprise.
I think
Davenport
we've experienced enough with the prototypes. Yeah, we've explored. With the he went to a small school, but he got the measurables. Give me somebody. Give me production. Give me somebody who
that's old.
Who can play.
That's what I'm talking about. Proven. And even proven collegiate players. Of course, Cam Ward won't be there, but Jason Dart is proven. I think on a college level. I think that Shadora, with the offensive line that he had, I think retiring his jersey was a little too much. But everything else, that's another story.
If Coach wasn't gonna do it, who would do it?
Right. Well, he did. I mean, he did the thing. I mean, you're in a position to do it. Do it.
A little premature, though.
Premature, Lord.
Travis Hunter was the Heisman. LSU, we retire our Heismans. Billy Cannon. Who the other one was? Just, Joe Burrow. Nobody don't wear those numbers. But the Heisman is one thing. Cardell needed a little love. Shout out Cardell. Cardell.
Rashad Salam.
Yeah, they need their numbers retired too. I think if he would have did
I'm with you.
Maybe if he would have did all of them at one time.
Yeah, it would have slid Shadora in there.
I think he would have been fine. But hey.
Prime, I think you're going a little too far now, man. I mean, I understand what you're doing. We really love you.
But into Shadora's defense, he was very culture changing. Getting to Colorado, he has Barton brought a whole new vision, whole new outlook on Colorado. Him, man, the whole thing. So, I mean, you know, if you want to give him flowers in that way, you can. You know.
Well, go ahead.
And you know, and I think, and I'm gonna steal one from you, Coach. I think it's the building,
It's
right?
the building.
Because what did Coach Prime, Shador, and Travis do? Increase profit, increase enrollment, increase visual. It was a pure show. And now Colorado has changed. Boulder, Colorado has changed. I would say, I'm hoping you guys would say, for the better moving forward. And I think that put in and we loved Cordell, you know, Louisiana born. We love Rashad Salam, R.I.P. Rashad Salam. But I think the culture has been changed, and I think that's the reason why Coach wanted it up there, because you'll never forget the minute that the culture was changed in Colorado by the Sanders clan.
No doubt. Now, Ciel, I didn't get you a chance to hear your second rounder. You with the Emory deal, or you had somebody else in mind?
I didn't have a problem with Emory. I kind of like Alabama. Booker, just because he is a starting right tackle, but he will be a guard.
And he could play center, guard, tackle. He play across the. Yeah, he
obviously, Coach. We all know the more you could do, the better your chances
man. You always want to Swiss Army knife.
You respect. I mean, if you want to go back, there was a rainy day in November. Matter of fact, my birthday, a rainy day in November in Tiger Town, and you know he got off the ball. You know, Monroe ran for 1,000,000 yards, but look at Mr. Booker and see what he did.
No doubt. And look, guys, I'm gonna get through the rest of these picks just for our viewers. We got a couple more minutes here. But to your point, that dude balled out. I mean, you go across the Evan Neal years before. I mean, Alabama has been, you know, pumping out offensive linemen. Don't like to give them props though.
Right.
Now at third round 71, Donovan Izuriku, defensive end out of Boston College. I looked at some of his film last week. I kind of was checking out some of his profile. He wore number 6. He stands up. Automatically think like somebody that'll come in and instantly give Isaiah Foskey a bit of a challenge. I guess I'm going to stick to more position as opposed to names with you guys. Do you think if there's a decent edge rush guy like Izuriku, like him at 71, do they need to go edge or maybe look at receiver or any other position?
This is where I think we have to own the draft, Fav. You know, we got 4 picks in 2 rounds. We have to own the 3rd and 4th round, and we got to hit. You know, I do think an edge rusher got to be in conversation right here. Also, if you're not gonna go with the I really do like edge rusher right here though, Fav. I can't disagree with you. As much as I want kind of go give you a different perspective, because in his system he needs those pass rushers.
Super Bowl,
and we don't have those typical, you know, hybrid linebackers that could rush the passer like the Khalil Macks and the Von Millers. You know, we don't have those. We have a lot of balanced guys that could stop the run and rush the passer a little bit. He wants those small bend guys that could bend and get to the edge real quick. And we don't really have those laying around here in New Orleans right now. You know, that's not the defense we was running. So I could see us using a pass rusher in this pick right here out of the 4, and then coming back maybe later in the 5th and grabbing another one. I really do think that right now you have to be looking at edge and receiver, you know, or DB. You know, those 3 positions right there are going to be at need. You know, if we don't fulfill nothing else, you know, Tyler Warren can help us if we pick that. We won't have to get a receiver, so he gives us the flexibility to get that edge right now. But we're going to need an edge that could fit his system, that could bend, you know, that could get, you know, he don't like these big stocky pass rushers. So, you know, we're gonna have to draft some people to fill those voids and I like that pick right there, Fav.
And it's not a bad pick. He's a lengthy edge rusher, could stand up, could put his hands in the dirt. Anytime you were a single-digit number on a D-line.
You could get after it.
CL, I want to go to 93. I was looking at Savion Revell Jr. out of ECU. I was actually just looking at some of his film while Frank was talking. He is your prototypical solid corner. If the Saints typically do a decent job at finding all right. I'm all right with the Trevor Pennings around here. Okay. Marcus Davenport's at this pick. Do you see this young man potentially being Revel Jr. being a decent pick for him? And do you like that position?
Is this the third round?
This 93. This is third.
So, kind of off of what Coach said earlier, when we let's just say for that 40th pick, we did pick an edge, right? Mm-hmm. So, bam, here goes the start of the run on edges. Mm-hmm. I would like to in the third round. I would like to come back because to his point, we do not have that outside linebacker for the 3-4 that comes off the edge. I would like a Demetrius Knight Jr. from South Carolina.
All right.
And double up, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
two
get
edges.
second. Yes.
Yep.
Back to back edges.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Two edges.
I'm not mad at that.
Because remember, we got two third-round picks.
Yeah.
So whichever third one you want, but I want to go back-to-back edge because there'll be a run on edges, and I think we don't have that guy. I'm willing to give Isaiah Foster a chance in this new defense, but I would like to double up on edge bin guys in this new 3-4 base.
I'm with that.
I agree.
I don't have too much rebuttal for that one. And I'm not saying that because I'm a defensive lineman. That's just my deal. And look, the next pick on here at 112, I got Tylerick Williams, defensive tackle from Ohio State, fresh off a national championship. Could add depth on that defensive line. I'm going to kind of fly through here because we got a couple more minutes. If he falls, and it's a possibility that he falls at 131, Isaiah Bynes, wide receiver from Texas.
Be a great pickup.
That would be what? And then we stick
One of them got a
SEC.
case, so he going to fall. I'm going to just be real. You know they got two boys from Texas.
Yeah.
Well, you got Golden is projected first, early second, right?
Then the other one going to automatically fall.
Yeah, it's Bynes.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I guess so. Okay, so and then at 184, I stuck with the SEC with Nick Emmanuel work out of South Carolina. Now, with them being in the SEC, you trust the safety out of South Carolina. I saw a little bit of tape on him. He was straight. Now, here we go. Last two picks here, guys. Shamar Stewart, edge rusher, 248, if he's still there, Texas A&M. Remember we're talking about him, sleeper.
Yeah, project.
And then your guy, Tyler Booker, guard Alabama. They have him as a guard, but of course I'm a lineman trainer, so I watch film on these guys like them training in the offseason and watching his training film. He can hike the ball like a deep snapper. Like he has the skill. Do. So do y'all, in conclusion, are y'all fine with those? See how you get your edge a couple picks later. So I'm assuming at that part what Shamar Stewart is. If we just judging our position, you think he go corner right there? Wide receiver, O-line?
The way Coach addressed the corner situation, and he was 100% right. And, for the HBCU game, we had a conversation with Taylor. I think it bodes well for us to find a starting corner on the outside. For the simple fact that Taylor had a rough time PFF-wise on the outside. Let's put him back into his natural position in the slot. We do have the defensive coordinator, Coach Staley, coming in. Maybe we can make Taylor maybe he can make Taylor his Jalen Ramsey. On the defense, and we make sure that we address that need at corner. Because obviously he's better in the slot than on the outside.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. When he go ahead,
I would probably one thing I would say we definitely have to get us a quality running back out this draft. I know that's one thing we didn't talk about in the late rounds, but with Gentry being off the board early, like our best player is still 30. We gotta get him some help. We need a bell cow. We don't need another scat guy. We need somebody. Like the guy Sanders from South Carolina, like Rocket. One of those guys who could come in and carry it 20 times a game, give you 1,000 yards a year, be here for 9 years, and once Camaro gone, he's still here. You know, we could use that here. We need some balance here. We need somebody in the backfield to come in and deliver.
And we rarely talk about trades. I would never be mad if the Saints traded back up into whatever round and use those picks to get like or Mari Hampton.
No doubt. Yeah, we got so much more to get into. I know we out of time, y'all.
Sorry,
we got so much to get into. We're excited about the draft, so we're gonna need y'all to go on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite. Subscribe and like on the page. We're gonna run the draft right then and there. We want to thank our sponsors once again: Small Sliders, Conquer Sports, Montero Motors, Robert Wolfe in Construction, and also Lamarque Crescent City Ford. File production crew. Shouts out to Camille, girl. I saw you out there earlier. Taylor, DJ Spin, Wes, Damian, and UP. My co-host CL NOLA, and we want to thank Coach Frank Benoit for joining us. Hey, y'all, we'll see y'all again this Thursday. Remember, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe and like to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on YouTube to check out our draft special. And you know we're going to break it down next Monday right here on ESPN Baton Rouge's YouTube channel. We out, baby. Enjoy the week. Hello, somebody. Peace.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Hello, somebody. This is Robert Wolfe. If you are in need of construction or real estate services, project management services, give us a call at 504-393-2445.
Well, hello. Like Rob just said, hit up Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate for your real estate and construction needs. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody.
It's Alberto Montero. We got it. Great selection of vehicles in and out of here on a daily basis. We offer financing. All Carfaxes are online, and all our vehicles are serviced and inspected before sale. Best selection and prices in all of the New Orleans metro area. Come visit us today at 1512 North Causeway in the heart of Metairie. Come check us out at MonteroMotors.com.
Montero Motors, a proud sponsor of Inside the Trenches, ESPN New Orleans.
Hello, I'm Shelton Jordan with Lamarque Crescent City Ford. If you are in need of a commercial vehicle, I'm here to help. From F-150s to Super Duty trucks or chassis, to cargo vans, passenger vans, or if you're in need of a vehicle to be upfitted, we can do it especially for you. Or if you're looking for a truck or SUV, I can also help you at Lamarque Ford Store in Kenner. Feel free to call me at 504-734-3579 and ask for Shelton. Lamarque Crescent City Ford is a proud partner of Inside the Trenches on